The hair's getting more exciting. Happy Saturday, happy Halloween, happy full moon, happy blue moon. So what are the things you can do with the moon? If you are into crystals, make sure you put your crystals out. Tonight is when they get recharged. You can create moon water. Also a great night to do a fire and release things. Put things on a piece of paper that you want to get rid of and throw them into the fire. Ah, yes, the cat is up this morning. Good morning, kitty. Off the counter. So we were talking about controlling your state and physiology. And a radical move in physiology will radically control your state. So think about, if you're excited, your energy is going up. If you're not excited, your energy is going down. Have you ever had a time when you were like tired or, really rested, and then all of a sudden something happened and you snapped to attention? Now, it could have been something that was a crisis, or it could have been something that was exciting, but all of a sudden, boom, you got excited. Now, how did you do that? Now, some people think that they're at the effect that happened because some sort of chemical reaction happened in their body, and then they got energy. Well, the opposite is kind of true. You changed your focus, you changed your physiology, then that changed the chemical reaction in your body, and then you got energy. Understand that this is at your fingertips at any time. Think about athletes. Understand this, because an athlete, when they get ready for their sporting event to occur, they're not just standing there with one hip out to the side and one foot out to the side like this, okay, go ahead, throw the ball, or go ahead, let's hike. Before the event starts to happen, whatever the event is, they get themselves ready. They manage their state and they get their body ready for that event to happen. And they do it in different ways. Baseball players have a whole system that they do before they decide to bat. And those are a bunch of anchors, but that's designed to get them into state. They're confident that after they, adjust their gloves and then shake the bat a certain way and then touch the ground, and then now they're ready to go. And if you talk to them, by the way, they can tell you about where they're at on that scale on their state. So let's say, so I'm friends with Ron Kittle. So you ask Ron Kittle, okay, if you're going to bat against Dwight Gooden, if you guys can remember those names, if you're going to bat against Dwight Gooden, what level do you have to be on a 0 to 10? Ron would say something like a 12. Okay, great, point of reference. How do you get there? What do you have to do in order to get to that guy? And what they do is they extra intensify their state. They have to be extra ready. Football players do this by pounding on each other, but some of them will even move their feet before the play starts happening so that they're in state. But we don't do this when we do intellectual things. We don't do this when we do something like go have an important conversation with our child or go have an important conversation with our spouse. And that's a mistake, because using that physiology matters in terms of managing your state and getting you to where you want to be. The point is, you need to understand that you can change how you feel at any time by changing your physiology. Smoking is incredibly popular, not just because people get addicted to the nicotine, but if they get stressed, they take a hit on a cigarette, what do? They take a big, deep breath. Well, what about if you take the big, deep breath without taking the hit on the cigarette? If you are feeling stressed or tired and you go for a walk, an intense walk, you're going to feel better when it's done. You filled your body full of oxygen. You moved your body, which caused it to get energy, and you changed your state. So if you're stressed, you're going to be clinched in like this. When you're happy and confident, you're going to be open. Every animal, when they're confident, they're open. They're like this. if you watch people who learn about cards, when the person on the other side does something like this, whatever you want to do, if you understand physiology and you understand neurolinguistic programming, it's time to fold. Because that's a sign that I got this. When you got the hands up like this and you're like, whatever, that means you are super confident that whatever is about to happen, you're going to be successful at it. Well, if you take the same pose, you send the same signals to your brain, and your brain causes the same chemical reaction throughout your body, and you will feel that confidence. That's why we talk about Amy Cuddy's Superman stance and those types of things. But you can do the same thing about being relaxed, taking deep breaths. You can do the same thing about not being depressed by being up. You don't have to always be on level 10. It can be up, but be in a calm state. You can do the same thing about being depressed. If you are feeling depressed, many times you're closed in. We're also going to talk about focus and belief. That has a huge impact on depression. But I want you to just understand that physiology is always the start. In terms of how you feel, it always starts with your physiology. And if you're not feeling the way that you want to, check your physiology. And if you change it, you're going to change that feeling. And today, watch athletes today. And think about this. You're coaching your kid's softball team or you're coaching your kid's Little League team. Which, by the way, if you want to find out any kinks in the armor of your personality, do that particular activity. Coach your kid in Little League or softball, and whatever kinks in the armor of your personality you have, they will come out. So you see a child getting ready to go up to bat, and they're dragging the bat behind and kind of slumped like this. Now, are you going to let them bat in that situation? No. Why? Because they're not ready. They're not ready to take that pitch. They're not in the right physiology. Apply that same knowledge to everything else. Before you're going to have a big conversation with a boss, before you're going to have a big conversation with a spouse or a child, or even if you're just coming home from work and you're in a certain state, take 20 seconds in the garage or in your car before you come in to manage your state. Take deep breaths, change that physiology, open yourself up, get yourself confident, maybe even take the Superman stand so that when you walk into that house, you are in a different state than you were when you drove home if you've been in a poor state. A lot of people like a little drive when they go home because they listen to a certain music or they listen to Howard Stern or Bob and Tom or they listen to whatever, and it changes their state. And then when they get home, they've been able to leave the day. You'll hear somebody say, I like my drive home from work because I'm able to get rid of the day. Well, that's what they're doing, is they're using anchors and they're using other things to change their physiology, change their focus, change their breathing, change all of those things. So when they come home, they're different. The point is, learn that you can control this. If you control your physiology, you control how you feel. And that is the start to everything, because at the end of the day, what we really want from all of this stuff is a set of feelings. And you can have those feelings now if you really want to. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Happy Halloween. Full moon, blue moon. Maybe we'll get reset to original settings. It was a full moon when we sprung forward. Now it's a full moon when we fall back. So I heard somebody say, maybe we fall back to original settings. I like that idea. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let's take care of each other. We're all in this together.